Hi, everybody. Welcome to Busy Living Sober. It's Elizabeth Chance. How is everybody today? It is Wednesday. I'm recording on the day. Isn't that crazy? And our topic today is I can't control it. I can't change it. I didn't cause it. I didn't cause it. I can't cure it and I can't control it. And I want to thank my friend who reached out to me with this topic. Her initials are C. Her first initial is a C because I just don't want, I didn't ask her if she wanted me to say her name, so I'm not going to say her name, but she said, can you please talk about this? I can't, I didn't cause it. I can't control it. And oh my God, I keep losing this, of course, first thing in the morning. And I can't cure it. Isn't that crazy? Those can'ts. Before I go any further, I want to thank SoberLink. Each and every person in the fight against alcohol addiction has their own reason for recovery. Maybe it's a husband, a wife, a daughter, a son, a mom, a dad, a best friend, a colleague, a job, a hobby, or just yourself. Whatever your reason for recovery, we are all in this together. On Busy Living Sober, my mission includes staying sober, reaching out. And sobriety can mean so many things. It's just like being okay with you, right? Not having these regrets and this shame and all the rest of the stuff we carry around. That's why I partner with SoberLink, because we're all about changing this shame that's associated to addiction to expand their community more. SoberLink is a remote alcohol monitoring technology that's created to help provide accountability for people in recovery. The system includes a high-tech breathalyzer device with facial recognition that allows you to share your sobriety in real time with loved ones who can support in the event of a slip or a relapse. SoberLink has helped hundreds of thousands of people document proof sobriety in real time to help rebuild trust and foster peace of mind. SoberLink is a community and a strong community of people in recovery. Get inspired, inspire others by joining the community by going to visit www.soberlink.com/BLS for Busy Living Sober. Oh my gosh. So I don't know about you, but having someone in your life that is out of control and needs help, and especially being the mom, or even this, any close relationship, okay, any close relationship, mother, being a friend, being a daughter, being a cousin, all those things I just mentioned in the SoberLink ad, make you feel like I need to fix this. I need to control this. I don't know when we became control freaks as mothers, as women, as humans. When did we become such control freaks that we wanted to control everything? When did that happen? When did it happen that we thought that we were God and that we had the power to do, I think as Americans, we have this ability, I don't know if it's everywhere though, that we can do whatever we want to do. We're Americans. We can do whatever we want. We can fix anything we need to fix. We can make anything happen because we've got the power and we can do this in ourselves. But then it comes to relationships and it comes to addiction and it comes to family. And it's like, holy shit, I've got no control. I've got no control, but I want control because this is really serious and this is really scary. We all know where these things take us. If we know where drug addiction goes. We know what happens with fentanyl overdoses. It's all over the news. It's all over the place. So it's not that we have this unnecessary fear about it, because there's obviously fear around alcoholism and addiction. We see it all over the place. We've seen it in our families through generations. Everybody has a cousin and uncle or somebody that they were like, oh my gosh, you know what happened to him? He or she were they were an alcoholic and their life became not only unmanageable, but their life became something that it was like they were, I don't want to say homeless, whatever it was. But I think that realizing that we can't control it is a big, humongous nut to swallow. It is so big. I have worked with families, as everybody knows. I don't know if everybody knows that that's listening. So I used to have my own coaching because I am a certified recovery specialist. I'm an interventionist. I am certified to do all these things. I'm a certified health and wellness coach. So I have all the credentials to back me up here if you need them. But I know that working with people that are addicted and being a family member and knowing, having them say you can't control it, you didn't cause it, having them say those things, having them say to you, you can't control it, you can't, you didn't, and you can't cure it. You're like, wait a minute, what do you mean I can't cure it? What do you mean I can't? What do you mean I can't control? What do you mean? What do you mean? This is my child. This is my husband. This is my cousin. This is my sister. This is my mom. This is that. What do you mean? What do you mean? I've raised this person, or I've been with this person for this many years. What do you mean I can't do anything? Because that's what it says, right? What they're saying to you, in fact, is you have no power. You are powerless. You are powerless over this individual. You are powerless over this drug or this whatever substance it is that the person's addicted to. You have no power over it. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? You mean there's nothing to fix it? And I've mentioned this before in podcasts, and I don't want to cause any drama. I don't. But I believe that a lot of the treatment centers out there, I wish that when you would sign in with your loved one, I signed my ex-husband in, and I remember going and they asked for a very large check, and luckily he had that money. And we, even though today, to this day, it's like, I can't believe I spent all that money. But anyway, he went, and there's no promise that you're getting better. There's no promise. You're getting 28 days or however long your person's going to be there, 28 days, let's just say. And if you get that, by the way, if you have insurance, sometimes it's only 14 days, sometimes it's only 7 days. You know that I want to just throw this other caveat out there before I go on to another tangent, is that, do you know that addiction and rehabs are a multi-billion-dollar company in the state, in this country? Multi-billion-dollar. And I was just talking about it with somebody actually who lives in France, who's Israeli. He's from Israel, and he told me about it. We were talking about it yesterday. But anyway, you go for those 28 days, you sign up, it's maybe 14 days, and all you're getting is a good night's sleep, because you pray your family member is in the place where they say they are, and you can sleep knowing that they're safe. That is it. That is it. There is no promise that person is walking out that door going to be better. It's not like you're going to the hospital and you've just been treated for cancer, or you're going to get your arm fixed that you had broken, or you had some lung complication, whatever it is. You don't go and they're giving you this magic cure and you're going to walk out and you're going to be better. That's not what it is. No, 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 no. Because I believe, this is my opinion only, Elizabeth Chance's opinion only. I know other people have this opinion, but it's my opinion just because I don't want to get anybody in trouble or do anything. My opinion only is that it is spiritual. Getting sober is spiritual. It has nothing to do with thread count sheets. It has nothing to do with all these different things. It has to do with how you are feeling inside. It is a spiritual thing. It is literally going, I got to do this for something bigger than me. And sometimes that thing that's bigger than me, at least for me, it's God. So I can't touch God. God is not tangible for me to touch. I can sometimes see him working in my life because I want to believe that, right? I can't taste it. I can't do any of those things, but I believe. It's like believing in Santa Claus. It's like believing in Tinkerbell. It's like believing in the Tooth Fairy. It's believing in something that you cannot touch, that is bigger than you. Sometimes it could be a relative that has passed away and you think of them as above you. Like, that's spiritual, right? Because that person is gone and now they're living in heaven, we believe, as a Christian. Having that sense of something bigger than you, that I'm going to do this because I have this person that I can't touch or see or smell, that I believe that's bigger than me. Some people, it's Mother Nature. A lot of people, it's from Mother Nature. It's like, I believe in the trees and the outdoors. That is where I get my serenity. That is where I get my peace. So finding this thing that is bigger than you is such a big part of getting sober and being sober and staying sober. It's literally this thing that is like believing, prayer. I'm going to tell you, you can't control it. You didn't cause it. Can't make it stop. What can you do? What can you do as a loved one with someone that's going through this? If I'm telling you all these things that you cannot do, and I'm telling you, you're powerless, and you're like, I don't want to be powerless. I want to fix this. I want to do something. I need to do something. I am a fixer. I am a fixer, right? How many of us out there are fixers? Or at least we think we are. I haven't gone on TV on one of those shows that's like the fixer. What was it? Ray Donovan was a fixer, right? He'd kill people all the time. I am not, but I want to. I want to fix. I want to fix because that's who I am, because I love this person so much that I want to make them better and I want to give them anything they need to be better. I want to do it. I want to do it more than anything in the entire world. So why can't I make them better? Why can't I make them better? I want to make them better. And it's so, oh my God, painful. It is so painful. It is so painful. It is, you know, I was, when I was in Santa Fe, I went to a coffee shop. I went to a coffee shop every morning there, and I love this coffee shop there. And it's right on the main street, in where like the tourist area Santa Fe is, and it's called Henry and the Fish. I'm just giving them a throw out there because it's wonderful. They have the best scones. Oh my gosh, the people who work there are darling. It's a wonderful spot, and I went there every morning. And as you can imagine, if you don't know me in real life, I'm very talkative and I talk to everybody. And if I see you and I'll start bringing up a conversation. My poor kids are like, oh my God, shut up, Mom, stop talking to everybody. When they were little, they'd be like, oh my God, she's going to the grocery store. She's going to be there for 3 hours. But anyway, not to digress. I was so when I was in Santa Fe, I was in this coffee shop. And I started talking to this woman and her daughter. And I was like, oh, where are you traveling? Are you traveling? Do you live here? What's going on? And they were like, oh yeah, we're traveling from, they had been in North Carolina with, the daughter had been working in North Carolina, and they were driving across the country, kind of like I did with Henry, and they were going back to California. And I started talking about what I do, and I talked about my sobriety, and this woman opened up to me and said, oh my gosh, she has a child that's battling addiction, and she's been battling this person's been battling it for a long time. And it is, you could just see it in her eyes, being a mom that just loves her daughter so much. And she's like, I've done everything. We've sent her to this, we've sent her to that. And having that sense of powerlessness. And what can you do? What can you do? I can tell you this. When my ex-husband was in his active addiction, it was so hard. I wanted to control it so badly. I wanted to make it different. I wanted to change it so bad. And because I don't know, human wise, we were divorced, obviously. So that fear I had, because it's all fear, right? It's all fear that something's going to happen, that somebody's going to die, that something's terrible is going to happen, and that you can't stop it. And I remember my kids would go over to his house, and I'd be like, oh my God, please, 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 don't let anything happen. Please don't let anything happen. Please don't let anything happen. And I'd be so scared. And I tried to put up parameters, right? As much as I could. I'm like, you can only move across the street here. Literally move. He lived, one road was in between us. And I'd be so scared all the time. I was mad. I was so mad. I was so mad. I was so mad. I was so mad, like a crazy, crazy person. I was so angry. And I wanted him to stop. And I would be like, I remember them. I would call my sponsor, because that's what we have in my 12-step programs. I have somebody who I call, and I also have therapists and all the rest of it. But I would call her and be like, I can't believe this just happened. And and these terrible things. And I had no control, right? You have no control. I can't go over and just say arrest him because he's drinking in his own house. That's not against the law. No. Falling down, it's not against the law. God, I just can't keep it. I'd be like, I want a Ouija doll. I want a Ouija doll. I want to take a Ouija doll and I want to take kids and stick it in it. And I just wanted to die. I just wanted to go away. Oh my God, I can't stand it. Blah, 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 blah. And it was just every night, all I could do, all she ever told me to do was pray. And I'm like, oh my God, just pray. Oh my gosh, I'm just going to pray. And it's the craziest thing because we go and people tell us to pray and you're like, what? It's not tangent, right? Because you can't go, oh, I said a prayer and it happened. I didn't go and get on my knees and everything started to become, my person got better right away. It never happened like that. I didn't drop them off in rehab and they came out and they were like smiling and happy. What the hell's going on? And I don't get it. And I've done everything I can. And what am I supposed to do? And this is so overwhelming. I feel like I'm drowning. Do you know what I mean? You feel like you're drowning. But prayer works. And sometimes the worst thing that you think is going to happen happens. And you are, what are you going to do? And the person goes and passes. And you are like, it's my fault. It's my fault. But it's not your fault. And I think as humans, we want to take full responsibility for things that happen with our loved ones. We want to be the one that carries around this. We want to be the one. I don't think we want to be a martyr, but we end up being a martyr. And we end up being in this place that's like, I caused it. I caused it. I couldn't do anything else. I couldn't do anything else. And the pain is so much that all we can think of is hurting ourselves about it. But really just letting go and knowing this thing that's bigger than us that I like to call God. For me, it's God. Had a bigger plan. And it's not what I wanted. And it hurts so fucking bad. But this is what it is. And I have to keep going because I have other people in my life that love me. And I have to know that this was not in vain. That maybe I'm here because I need to help somebody else that's going through this and be their sounding board and be their person to say, you know what, I understand how horrible this feels not to be able to control it, and be someone that can listen to the person when they're going through the part that's so angry and so mad and they're crying and they're in a ball and they're just wanting to pick up a pill or to pick up a drug themselves or drink. Because feeling powerless is one of the most awful feelings. It feels uncontrolled. It feels just like you're spinning. You're like, what is going on? And you can't sleep because your head's going, oh, well, I could have done this. I could have done that. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? I could have done this. I could have done that. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? And in reality of going, I don't know why this happened. I have to trust in something bigger than me. Yes, you could be angry at a pharmaceutical company. You could be angry at our government. You could be angry at the whole system, medical system. You could be angry at all those things. But then you have to put it into something constructive. And you have to put it into something constructive. And I don't know if that constructiveness is like getting into politics, if it's getting into what's going on in your community, if it's getting into educating other people, if it's going to finding people that are like-minded like you are on social media, if it's coming together and talking to someone else that's gone through it so you can be each other's sounding board and you can raise each other up rather than bringing each other down. I want to tell you, I'm going to finish that story with my ex. So I used to pray all the time for him because that's what my sponsor told me to do. So I would go and I would be in a meeting at the end of the meeting, this is of course obviously pre-COVID, and you would hold hands with each other and you would hold hands and you would say the serenity prayer, you'd say the Lord's Prayer. And prior to that, it would be, please pray for the sick and suffering in and outside of these rooms. And during that time, I would always picture his face. I would picture my ex-husband's face and I'd pray for him 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 as much as I didn't want to because I was so angry. I'd pray for him anyway. And 7 years later, he actually did call me on, I'd seen him, but I can't smell for all just to digress. I cannot smell anything. So he came into my house, he looked hungover, but whatever, that's how he always looked. And he said, he had to go do something and he called me and he said, can you come pick me up? And that was it. So that's his story to tell, not the rest. I don't need to tell the rest of that story, but all I can say to you is he got sober. And I had prayed, I don't even know how many times in my life for him that he would get better, and it worked. And I'm not going to say that that's going to work for everybody because that would be lying to you. That's not going to happen for everybody. I think I don't know if it's a 50-50. I don't know what it is, but I know for your sake, praying will help you. It will help you by giving you hope rather than beating yourself up. The past 2 days I've listened, and I'm just going to use this as one of the tools that I've used in my life is meditation. And it took me a long time. I'm going to tell you a long time to be able to meditate. I even took a class at the University of Pennsylvania that they had actually out at Radnor, if you're listening to this in your Philadelphia area. And I'm sure they have them all over the place, but you can go to this class and you can learn how to meditate. And the first thing the meditation teacher said is, if you think you're not going to have any thoughts while you're meditating, you're totally wrong, because you will always have thoughts until you're dead. So I was like, okay. So I've listened on Insight Timer, which is amazing. And you can do the free version. I know you can get the subscription, but I have been doing the free version for years. I mean, years and years and years. And the past 2 days, I've been listening to these things that are talking about bringing each other up rather than bringing each other down. Bring each other up. And this morning, I actually posted on Instagram. If you go to Instagram, and I think it's on it might be even on my website. I hope it's correlating again from my Instagram right to my website, and you might see it on there as well. But it's with this Lucy. I'm going to oh my gosh, I should tell you what it is. You know, I was posted in the description if you want to look at it. But I was listening to her meditation this morning, and she said, think about what you fear the most. So let's say you're fearing that this person, something tragic is going to happen. And what if you changed that fear and you said, it's going to work out whatever way it's supposed to going to work out. I'm going to let go. I'm going to let go. I'm not going to let it eat me up anymore. I'm going to hope for the best. I'm going to hope for the best, and I'm going to let go. How does that feel? Can't control it. You didn't cause it. You can't fix it. So what if you just let go? You pray to whoever it is that you personally, a loved one, has. And that might be going to church after church after church and lighting candle after candle after candle, getting on your knees and praying and just saying, I'm going to let go. I'm going to let go. And I'm going to trust you, God. I'm going to trust you, God. And I'm going to have this feeling that everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to. I'm going to have that feeling as much as I don't want to. I want to be angry. I want to be able to control this. I want to be able to put money at it. I want to be able to have somebody fix this person. I want this situation fixed. I want it to be better. I want it to do this. And you can't. You got to let go. And I'm going to give you a personal story. So I didn't control this, is with my, estrangement. I've talked about estrangement here before. And as you all know, I think you know, maybe you don't. If you don't, I'm just going to share with you. So my oldest son and I used to be so close. Like we were thick as thieves. I talked to him every day, numerous times a day. And I drove him to a job out in the Midwest, and and we talked all the time. And then I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg. He met somebody and he said, I don't need you anymore, Mom. I'm an adult. I don't need you anymore. Now it's your time and you go off and you have your own life, Mom. I'm good. And I guess I didn't know that meant that he was literally cutting me out of his life 110%. I mean, literally cutting him. I haven't talked to him in like a year. I mean, he called to tell me he got engaged, but that was it. And then there's been communication, which has been not very pretty and not nice at all. And it's like he's gone, right? He's gone. He's not. It's like I had this best friend, and it's not my best friend, he's my son, but I had this person in my life that was a humongous part of my life, and then they just disappeared. And it feels like he's gone. I said, it feels like you're like not, it's like you're not even on this planet anymore, because I don't talk to you. I don't communicate with you. I send you messages. I don't hear back. I've become this, he, I think, referred to me to his sibling as like, oh, I'm the dark side or something. And I don't know what I did to cause it. I don't know that if it just is part of life and who I am and whatever is going on in his life. But it has been the most painful thing I've ever gone through my entire life. I swear, I think it's worse than like getting divorced. Because it hurts so much. And I've tried everything except for showing up on their doorstep. And somebody asked me yesterday, have you thought about showing up on his doorstep and saying, I'm here, I want to talk to you? And I've thought about it. And I think that I've never had a healthy boundary in my life. I was never taught boundaries. All I know is like, I go through like a bull in a china shop. And I don't know that if that's the way to go. I don't think that, from what I've asked my people and my therapist, and it's that's not really the healthy way to go about it. And as much as I want to do that, I can't. So I am letting go, and I pray all the time. And I miss him so much, and I love him so much, but there's nothing I can do. This is his life, and he's going to do whatever he's going to do. And better or worse, I love him no matter what. If he decides to come back today or yesterday, or I don't want, whatever, not yesterday, obviously, but decides to come back, I would let him in with open arms. And obviously the relationship would have to change, but raising kids and being in relationships with other human beings are hard, especially when things are not going the way you want them to go. It's hard. But I pray and I take care of me. And that might sound selfish, but it's where I am. I need to take care of me so that I'm good for everybody else in my community and my other two kids and my husband and my friends and the people in my life that I care about. I need to stay in the middle of the bed with that. So I take care of me, and you're like, and I'm not selfish by taking care of me because I'm the only me I have. So the only place in the world they ever tell you to take care of yourself is on a plane, right? So they say, put the oxygen on you first, and then you know you're going to be okay. But I think in every part of life, we have to take care of ourselves. We have to take care of ourselves. And we're never taught that in school. No one ever says to you, okay, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Have you taken care of yourself? I know we brush your teeth, take a shower, all those things. But how are you internally taking care of yourself? How do you do that? And not selfishly, but just as a human being. So I started this 75-day challenge yesterday. I did not do it very well. I only exercised once. I only read 3 pages before I went to bed, but I'm going to try again today. And I can't do it perfectly. And I know it says like, I'm going to do the soft version. And so it's not so hard on myself because let's face it, I'm 54. I'm not 24. Today is International Yoga Day. So doing something yoga, I actually ironically made an appointment with the woman that taught me my yoga, and she's going to recertify me. So I'm going to do that today outside. I'm going to swim, and I'm going to take care of me. So take care of you today. That means, what are you going to do for yourself today? You might go to work, and then you might not have work today, or you might have a half day, or whatever it is that you have. What are you going to do for you? Are you going to take a walk? Taking a walk outside is so amazing. For one, you see neighbors and you see friends and you can give them a smile. And you know that giving somebody a smile is like a humongous gift. You can give a nod and say, hi, how are you? And you don't have to be, they might say, how are you? If you feel close enough, you could say, I'm having a tough day. Or you can say, I'm great. But if it's somebody you care about, you can say, I'm having a tough day. You want to talk? And maybe you'll talk about something funny. Maybe something fun will transpire because you had this talk with this other human being that actually isn't in your first little thing. Your family, we'll call it. Going on a walk is amazing, Listening to a podcast that you like, amazing. Watching a TV show, putting on music that'll make you laugh and make you feel warm, like something from when you were younger that you know makes you smile, makes you want to dance. And you might feel guilty dancing, knowing that this loved one of yours is going through this hard time. But you know what? You got to get through this. You got to put the oxygen on you of life. How are you going to do that? You've got to do something that makes you get through today in a positive manner, because when we're yucky and we're in this state of being like, I can't control it, I can't take care of it, I didn't, all that stuff, the powerlessness stuff will put us in a downward spiral. And we don't want to be in that downward spiral anymore. We want to let go and we want to trust the process. And that does not mean you do not care, because I'm going to tell you, you still care. You care so much, it's not even funny. But you've spent enough time being in this state of like, what can I do? And coming up with nothing. And people telling you, you can't do anything. You can put mortgage your house for the 15th time and put this person in rehab. But the reality is there's nothing else you can do. And you have to go, okay, I can pray, and I'm going to pray. And that's what I'm going to do. But after I'm done praying, I'm going to go dance. I'm going to go do a meditation. I'm going to go do a yoga class. I'm going to go play pickleball. I'm going to go play tennis. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to call my best friend. I'm going to do a FaceTime. I'm going to do a Zoom class. I'm going to do something that is going to take care of me, because I can't change it. I didn't cause it. I didn't cause it. And you're going to be like, but wait a minute. Yes, I did. I did cause it. It's because I did this and this. Let it go. My younger sister used to say to me, get off the wood, stop crying. God needs it. It's like, okay, so you didn't cause it, but I know you think you did, but you didn't. I'm going to tell you one last thing. You can't cure it, and you can't control it. And I'm going to tell you one thing. So when I got sober, I always thought that I was bad. I was a bad person. I had a lot of shame. I was morally a corrupt person. I was bad. If you knew me, you wouldn't want to be friends with me. If you really knew what I was about, I had this disease. Every time I drank, I got drunk. I did things that I am, you know what? I love, somebody said this in a meeting I went to yesterday. Oh my gosh, I don't have it written down. I'm going to paraphrase it. I prostituted my morals when I was in my addiction. And I think back to what I did when I was in my addiction, and I didn't realize. And if you're not an addict, I don't know if you can understand this, but I'm just going to explain it as in layman terms as I can. So I would drink a drink and I'd have a sip and I'd want more. And I was like, oh my God, I have to have more. I have to have more. And I remember one of my sisters saying to me all the time, why can't you just have one? And the phenomenon of craving that happens with addiction, which is in our frontal lobe of our brain, is you know, for me, it's a family disease. I can point it out in my family, and I don't know any family that doesn't have it, but somewhere in some generation back far, 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 because we've been crushing grapes since the start of time. But knowing that I was genetically predisposed to having this disease gave me a sense that's like, oh my God, that's why I got this. I've been carrying this gene around since the minute I was born, the second I came out of my mother's womb. I've had this disease inside of me, and I triggered it, and it was there, and it was like, oh my gosh, I'm not a morally bad person. I have a disease, and it's called addiction. I'm an alcoholic. I'm an addict. I get alcohol and I can't stop putting it in my body. And it could be weed, it could be pills, it could be whatever form it comes in. If it comes in smoking it, if you want to drink it, if you want to digest it as a pill, you want to shoot it, whatever it is, it all goes to the same part of our brain that when it gets these drugs, whatever it is, whatever form I just described, hits the frontal lobe, it lights up like a Christmas tree, and you can't stop. That's why abstinence is the only thing that works. Because once you trigger this frontal lobe, you're off to the races. You can't go into your brain and say, oh, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to tweak it and I'm going to make sure it doesn't do that anymore, unless you're a brain surgeon. So knowing that gave me the sense, it's like, oh yeah, I genetically have this, and that's why I did what I did. And now I can't do it anymore. I call it pre-reality, pre-realizing what my DNA is and that I can't process this. And now in reality, oh, that's why I can't process this like other people. I have this disease. Okay. So if you told me I had another disease, I'd have to go to the doctor, and I'd have to if it's dialysis, I have to go get dialysis all the time. I've got little problems. I'm not going to go on and on about every disease you could have. But knowing you didn't cause it, it's DNA. And sometimes it skips generations. I just heard somebody that it did. I just talked to somebody yesterday that it did. I can go on and on. I've been talking way too long. I'm going to stop right now. I'll be back next week. Maybe I'll continue talking about this if you want me to. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to my show. Please subscribe. If you like what I have to share, please send this to your friends. If you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me at Elizabeth, ELIZABETH, at elizabethchance.com. And chance is spelled just like take a chance, CHANCE. And go to my website, elizabethchance.com, busylivingsober.com. It all takes you to the same place. Just know that you are not alone, okay? You are not by yourself. As much as your head wants to say, nobody else is doing this, nobody else is going through it. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Because this disease, this isn't a $55 billion business in the United States of America, if not more people than you are going through it. So stop telling yourself that you're alone, because you're not. You just have to reach out. You just have to reach out. I'll be back next week. I love you all. Thanks again. Please subscribe, and I'll talk to you next week. Take care. And you know what? Keep getting busy, living sober. Take care, everybody.